I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
Hey guys, DMJ here. Welcome back to the campaign. Hey, I just wanted to give you a quick reminder. Please hit the like button and subscribe, but most importantly, leave a comment. That's what keeps this whole thing alive, is just being able to interact with you guys and let me know what you think of the game. As Simon and Thunderian are looking out the door here, the entire town is just covered in dead and bloody doves all over the place. And there's people that were out and about in town, like hiding kind of behind the trees over here, just to try to take some cover from the carnage of all these doves that are crashing to the earth from the sky, like thousands of them. And the horse has broken away from the carriage over here, and he's like bucking around. And so Simon and Thunderian move out here to explore a little bit further. And Simon sees that the horse is bucking around, and he starts to head over this direction. Everybody can move about 6 inches, which is near. And Thunderian follows up. As they walk down the road here, there's crunching under their feet. Their boots are getting all bloodied. They come to a stop because back from the entryway of the wilds, they hear, "Shut the door! Shut it now!" Thunderian turns around. These doors just slam shut. Thunderian turns to Simon and says, "They've locked us out." Simon says, "Look." And they both look up to the sky. There's some strange object flying across the sky that has a trail of fire behind it. I mean, it is way up in the clouds. You can hardly see it. They don't really know what it is. "We must get to the church," says Simon. And he moves over to here. He's going to try to tame the horse using something like animal handling, which would be a wisdom check. So he's got +2 to the wisdom, and it will be a hard roll. So he's gonna need a 15. 7 + 2 is 9. That's a miss. So he grabs a hold of the horse's reins, gets the horse back over here to the wagon, but in the process of that, he gets kicked for 1 damage. So Simon takes a kick to the side from the horse that's sort of bucking around. And as I said, he gets it back to the carriage here. Then he jumps up into the saddle of the horse and starts to make his way forward, and he's calling for Thunderian. 2 things happen simultaneously. Thunderian, who is right about here still, had just turned around and looked over toward the doors of the wilds slamming shut, and maybe, he could hear it being barred from the other side. He sees a dog, a mangy looking dog, run out into the road about right here. At first, he's looking toward the doors of the wild. Thunderian's watching him and thinking that he's just like a mangy mutt. And then the dog looks over toward Thunderian, and half of his face is like ripped off. And keep in mind, like, there's bodies of doves all over and blood all over the ground. The dog's face is half gone. Most of the skin is just completely gone. And the dog has fire in his eyes and is looking sort of like this. Looks like a skeletal dog. It just comes this way, it's looking that way, and then it just slowly turns and looks toward Thunderian. Simon is here calling toward Thunderian, "Come on, it's time to go. We must get to the church." And Thunderian sort of backing up. And there's a guy that was hiding over there, not really hiding, but taking cover from all of the doves. And Simon just kind of watching him out of one eye. And he sees that guy. His face just makes like a stressed out, like, ugh. The body drops to the ground. And there is what can only be described as a animated set of bones that has fire in the eye sockets. And the eye sockets are bellowing out these trails of smoke that sort of rise up into the sky. And this thing has like entrails dragging and dripping out from its body. And the civilian is down, and this thing begins to like feast on him, like he's still kind of alive. And he just like, you just see the skeleton like drop down onto his back, and you can hear the guy like screaming. Thunderian turns and runs. He doesn't need a check and just climbs up the side of this thing up onto here. Go, go. The dead dog takes off toward the carriage. Thunderian turns back and sees more undead coming from this direction. And the owner of the wilds, Mo, is staring straight into the fiery eyes of one at the back of the kitchen here, which most likely prompted him to scream, "Bar the doors." With literal horsepower, the carriage speeds down the road toward the old church of the Four Lords. The church is on the other side of town, so it's a little bit of a journey. As Thunderian and Simon proceed forward, they start to see undead sort of wandering around aimlessly. Some are trying to get into houses. Some are back here chasing livestock around. Considering this is a town and not a city, they do have a small police force, you know, a small guard, but it's nothing like a big city would have. And so these guys are all fighting back the undead as good as they can. We even have this girl up here climbed out the window, and she's popping shots down onto any undead that she can see. And right as we're about to take this corner, Thunderian looks to the right, and he sees a small child being chased by one of those skeletons that has fire in the eye sockets. Thunderian says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" And Simon looks over to the right as well and pulls the reins back and stops the carriage about right here. As always, I pre-roll my initiative for the monsters early, so the skeletons have a 14. Thunderian is gonna have a 17. Simon is gonna have an 11. Thunderian is going to leap. He's gonna make a dexterity check. Yo, I'm giving him something good. He's got +1 for his dexterity, and that's gonna be a 20. Thunderian leaps off the carriage, landing about right here, does a roll from the momentum, so he's gonna end up right about here. Out of the roll, he is going to bring the axe from the ground, swinging in an arc upward, up under the chin of the skeleton. Skeleton's got an AC of 10. Thunderian's got +1. He's gonna get an 11, that's gonna hit. I would have to say he used one hand. I don't think he got two hands on it because he did use the roll, and he's gonna get 4 damage. The skeleton's head, like it would almost break a human's neck, but it just knocks backward and then just slowly creeps back forward, and it lunges with its claws and tries to slice at Thunderian. It has +1. It gets a 16. That's gonna hit Thunderian. And it takes a swing with its oversized claws and guts Thunderian right across his rib cage with these big sharp nails. He's gonna take 2 damage. Thunderian's back down to 2 hit points. As you remember, black dice is always for the monsters. So this zombie right here is going to move, sort of creep along back here. Maybe, and Simon might not even know that he's there. We're gonna see if Simon notices versus the zombie's dexterity. And it's an actual lurching and decomposing zombie. And so he's got a dexterity of -2. So that's gonna be 9, 8, 7. No, Simon totally senses that there's an evil presence by him. And so right as the zombie gets over here towards Simon, Simon looks to the left, just in time to see this thing trying to basically slam him off the horse. He has +1. That's gonna be a 7 and a miss. Simon takes his left leg and kicks the zombie right in the face and knocks him back a little bit. He looks over, sees that Thunderian is sort of holding his gut and maybe some blood all over the claws of the skeleton over there. And he's going to cast Cure Wounds to touch. So in order to do that, Simon has to dismount and runs over here and lays his hand right on Thunderian's back. Simon has a +2 for his wisdom. The spell is a tier 1 spell, so I'm trying to beat an 11. Yeah, Simon's gonna heal Thunderian. He's gonna heal him for, oh geez, just 1. But that's okay, because Simon can try it again. You can keep casting spells as long as you don't fail it. Thunderian's gonna rage, and I'll talk more about this character class in a Smoke and Talk video this week. This is a custom class that was made from some of Kelsey's material, but this right here is from one of her other classes, except for I added on plus D4 damage. Anyways, once per day, immune to damage 3 rounds, and an extra +4 damage to melee attacks. So Thunderian's raging. Thunderian's got a +1. That's a 10 versus the skeleton's armor class of 10. That's going to be a hit. A real quick piece of information. These skeletons have a little bit lower armor class than the ones in the book. For anybody who is watching and is a hardcore rules guy, these are just, they're not armored skeletons, so they have an AC of 10. After getting raked across the abdomen by this thing's claws, I'm sure Thunderian got pretty pissed off, and that's why he raged. And I can guarantee that that axe swing that he just did was with 2 hands. He does 1 damage, but the skeleton only had one hit point left. It started with 5 hit points, and the skeleton, it sounds like bowling pins just like crumbling all over the street behind it. The kid sort of shifts over here around to behind Simon because of the rage of Thunderian. Thunderian, for his turn, flies over here. Not literally, but almost. And takes a 2-handed swing into this zombie. +1. Yo! Yeah! Unnatural 20. Okay, so with 2 hands, it's a D10, and then plus the extra 4 because of the rage. That's going to be 7 damage. Thunderian drives the axe into the spine of this thing, and it's just like embedded in there, and its body almost looks like it's about to be chopped in half. These zombies are kind of tough though. He starts with 11 hit points. He's got 4 left. Skeleton's going to try to attack Thunderian. Going to miss. So with the axe embedded into his spine, into his like lower spine, he can't really move. Thunderian's almost controlling him with the axe, and he's just like trying to swing toward Thunderian, and it's like 6 inches from Thunderian's face, but he cannot reach him. Simon's gonna pick up the kid for his turn and move right over to here. You can move about 6 inches, and they're just kind of watching what's going on in the background over there. He's gonna try to get the kid into the carriage. Thunderian puts 1 foot on the zombie and yanks the axe out and spins around and tries to cut his head off. It's got +1. Ooh, that's gonna miss. As he takes a swing at this thing, he misses. It goes right over the zombie's head, taking a big chunk of wood out of the carriage. He tries to slam into Thunderian with powerful undead fists. Yo, that's gonna be a miss. Simon wants to turn this thing, but doesn't want to risk failure and losing it for the rest of the trip. So he's gonna roll, he's gonna decide right now. Evens, he'll try to turn it. Hell yeah. Simon steps out here into the sight of this. All you got to do is be within near, and he pulls out a holy symbol and begins to speak very loudly in a language that Thunderian can't understand. This is an opposed roll, and it's versus my spellcasting check, and he's got to do a charisma. So black is the monster. Oh, I got a 11, 12, 13. He got -3 charisma. So that is a failure. Simon's holy symbol begins to beam out with this radiant, bright white energy and just sort of like spreads over and fills this entire area here. And this thing turns and runs back here behind this house out of sight. Nice work. Quick, get the kid inside, says Thunderian to Simon. Thunderian's move is to climb back up here on top of the cart. Do you think we should help him? And as Simon is loading the kid up into the cart, he says, we do not have time. We must go. So as we get up to about here, we can see that this little melee has resulted in one of the guards going down, and this other one is injured and slowly being backed up toward this edge. Thunderian says, Simon, your holy symbol. As we're driving by here, Simon pulls out the holy symbol and kind of shines it toward this situation over here. Let's see what happens. Simon's spellcasting check is 13. Oh, the undead roll a 1. Oh, this one right here turns and runs this way. Sort of falls over this fence over here and just starts making his way that way. And this guy looks so relieved and he's waving toward us, yelling thank you. And since it's anyone within near, this guy right here, he's got to make a save. First 13, because I got +2 to that. His is 14, but it's -3, that's 11. This dude turns and runs and makes his way through this hole in the fence and starts heading off that way. And we continue to make our way through to the other side of town. After what seems to be an eternity of making our way through endless undead and back streets, we finally make it to the church. And here we can see that there is lots of undead gathered, trying to breach the walls. Inside we have holy men and women. They've set up like a little area out here to try to make a plan for what's going on. They have big maps and scrolls and old tomes that they're going through to try to find information on why these undead are arisen. We've got a guy up here on the tower looking out. So we just came out of a little skill challenge. We failed the first one, obviously, and then the next 2, we saved the little boy, and then we saved the guard along the way. And so in this situation, it's going to be a little bit different than it would have been if we would have failed everything. So basically, we had more successes than failures in this little encounter. And as we roll up, we see the typical zombies and skeletons with the fire in the eyes, but they seem to be almost led by this skeleton. And he turns around immediately, and we can see that he is sort of fully armored in some old rusted out chainmail, and he's got a sword and a shield, and he looks like he's ready to kill. I didn't pre-roll initiative for this one, so we'll start with the boss skeleton here. 18. The other weaker skeletons get a 3. Thunderian gets a 11. Simon gets a 20. So over here you can see the undead climbing the barricades and trying to get over the walls. This in reality would come up a little bit higher, blocking the way. This is just a bunch of the stuff that they pulled out of the church to kind of barricade the archway. But Simon can see that the boss skeleton here is going to be headed their way. He doesn't want to bring the carriage forward any farther because of the child inside, and so he's going to cast Shield of Faith on himself. Gives him a +2 AC for 5 rounds. DC is 11. 9 +2 for his wisdom. That's 11. Rusty blade in hand. The skeleton makes his first move up to about here. Thunderian and Simon are both kind of confused as to why he stops, and he turns and he looks this direction, and you can hear like "Ah," as you have all of these town guard running this direction to help out because they passed the skill challenge. And the skeleton turns and continues forward for his second move. Group initiative on the town watch. Okay, this guy up here says, "It's Simon! It's Simon! Move the crates! Move the barrels! These guys start to decide if they're going to move the crates or barrels. They can hear what's on the other side of the wall. First off, let's make a normal dexterity check. It's gonna be 13 and normal is 12. He does it. Now we gotta see if he hits. Yeah, that's an 18. Since the boss skeleton's armored, he's got an AC of 13, so the 18 definitely hits. I wish I wouldn't have raged already, but I kind of had to because I was low on hit points. I didn't want to take any more damage. Let's see what he does. This one's got 11 hit points. Whoa! Holy crap. Okay. Thunderian leaps off the top of the carriage with an arcing overhand swing of the axe. He drives it right into this thing's skull and splits the skull right in half, all the way down to the spine. The head is no longer there. It's in two pieces on the ground, and the body's just moving around kind of like a chicken with its head cut off. Simon says, Thunderian, that was beautiful. This watch goes here. This watch goes here. This watch goes here. This watch goes up to about there. Actually, he's going to use a double and get all the way up here. This guy is going to try to climb the bushes. We'll give him a strength check. He's kind of getting caught in the bushes a little bit, but that's okay. He's still over here. Okay, skeleton's turn. Well, undead. Minor undead's turn. We're going to do this real simple. Whoever rolls higher wins this skirmish. Oh, that was on 20. All right, this zombie drops the town's guardman. This one over here. Yeah. This guy drops that zombie. This skirmish right here. Ooh, the skeleton's gonna kill him. Skeleton drops this guy right here. This skeleton has to make a check to get over the top. Strength check. He is going to get up over the top, and then he just collapses into a pile of bones. Down here, I actually landed on my feet there. But he actually collapses into a pile of bones, and that girl's just looking over there like mortified, and there's just a pile of bones laying there. Back over to Simon. So the horse start bucking around and getting wild. We're gonna need Simon to, at the start of his turn here, to make a animal handling check. I know it sucks, but it's gonna have to be a hard one. So we're looking for a 15. I've got +2. Yeah, that's a 19. Simon maintains the horse and calms it down. That could have been pretty bad if that was a failure. From the horseback, Simon is going to take a swing with his mace and try to finish off the leader skeleton here. He's gonna have advantage because he's up on horseback. 10. He is actually going to miss with advantage. He takes a swing, and where the head should be, there's just no head there. And for his move, he's going to try to, there's no attacks of opportunity in this game. He's going to move the cart up to about here. Actually, it's 6 inches, so it's a bit further than that. We're gonna say he swings it up over here. Basically, he's trying to get the door of the cart right here so the kid can get in through here. Headless skeleton, which is barely holding on to unlife, is going to take a wild swing with that rusty sword toward Thunderian. Disadvantage. Oh, but it ends up being a 2. That's a miss. Thunderian's going for the kill. Great axe two-handed. That's a miss. Simon yells to Thunderian, maybe you should jump off the cart again. Yeah, that's real funny. This town guard runs over here. He sees what's going on, and he's gonna fight with that skeleton. All right, let's see. Oh, that skeleton is going to kill that guard as well. This guard goes down. I measured it, and this guy moves all the way, double move up to there. Maybe trying to get in the way of this guy's advancement next time. Minor Undead's turn. This guy's over here kind of running into the wall or trying to climb it to no avail. He just keeps doing it over and over. On a 10 or higher, he comes and enjoys the situation. Yeah, of course he's gonna. This guy makes his way here, and then second moves up to right there. This guy moves up to here, and attacks. Come on, baby. Yeah, and he's killed. This Town Watch turns around to two of these things and just swings on this one and cuts his head right off. He drops to the ground, collapsing. This one over here, 10 up, he joins the fray. No, that one actually on a 1, that one is going to leave the battlefield. He goes around this way somewhere. Simon pulls out his holy symbol and raises it up above his head. Just out of range for the boss. But that boss has got 1 hit point left anyways. Simon's got +2 to his turn check. So let's see what he gets. Yeah, he gets an 18. All right, these other clowns got to roll against it. Everybody in near, I'm going to measure it real quick. This turn is going to catch everybody except for the bottom. So the interesting thing is, Simon has the 18 total. These two are zombies. They have -3 to their charisma for the opposed check. They cannot do it except for on a 20. So zombie number 1, he's gonna miss. Zombie number 2, he's gonna miss. And both of these two zombies take off. Measured it out, and they will move to about right here and are headed this way. The skeleton needs a 19. Skeleton runs and jumps off over here and makes it to about right there, running away. This guy up here just witnessed all that down there with Simon and him pulling out the holy symbol, bathing this entire area in radiant energy. And he has like a tear coming down his eye, and he's like, "It's beautiful. It's beautiful." Headless skeleton, still fighting with Thunderian down here. Rolls at disadvantage. Oh, and he's gonna hit. Could you imagine if Thunderian got killed by a headless skeleton? 6 damage. He's got 7. He has 1 hit point left. It's Thunderian's turn. Thunderian is injured. He is cut across the abs. He's cut across the chest. He's bleeding all over the place. He's starting to go like see stars, maybe in and out of consciousness. He takes one final swing with this axe to finish this boss skeleton. Come on, dude. Yeah. That's a 16. That's going to hit. That's going to... He just busts that skeleton to pieces. And he is just like a wreck. He is dirty and bloodied, and his hair is all messed up. Strangely enough to him, it feels amazing. I actually forgot about this guy that was going to collapse into bones and then get up and attack from the inside. But we're going to say that he was just turned. They did so good in this encounter, this entire adventure. After a victorious battle, we all gathered in the courtyard of the church here. We re-barricaded the entryway to the courtyard over there. And we're all together at the meeting table. And we're trying to figure out what the next step we should take is. And guys, that's going to wrap up the adventure for today. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and I will catch you next week. See ya.